them and bring them to the front and center of discussion in a way that is easier to digest than just like speaking about them. So that was set to come out 3 weeks ago, I believe. It was supposed to be released the week after we got done using conference rooms at Citizen to create the teachings. We didn't even finish that.
That was a great time.
That was a great series. It would have come out perfectly, but there was some other things started going on, and we needed to pay attention to them. I got episodes 1 through 9 of my podcast, The Coco Show, up on SoundCloud. We had 902 listens in 7 days to the first episode. So in a little under a week, I had 902 listens. All of a sudden, my entire artist platform was deleted and erased. So I posted the email from SoundCloud saying they couldn't even find it. And I have I think 6 of 7 recorded of the podcast episodes recorded so that I can just repost them to a different platform. But SoundCloud isn't even letting me verify my email address to use for that. So if anyone, in the audience is a producer or content creator or influencer or involved in media in any way, and you want to help a girl out, please let me know what podcast you're using or what software or app. Xavier is running a fashion page on Tumblr. So he makes me super jealous sometimes because I want him paying attention to GoPro Solo and helping me get started on these projects. And
it's not Compton Gun Heist.
He is always very focused on these other projects that he's doing. He's doing a build out on LinkedIn to host a lot of Chicago art. Not so much murals as it is little 1 or 2 words that add to the character of a building or set a tone. And it's coming out really beautifully. So he's doing numerous, besides my own social media platforms that we're using for promotion, he's also doing a LinkedIn build out and a Tumblr build out. So all beautiful icons. Babe, can you please stop interrupting me? Please. If you want to say something, say, babe, can I say something? Hold on. So the Tumblr, he is going back in time. It's like a time machine. And he's paying homage with this account. It's called, I believe, Sunset Polaroids is the name. And he's using that to pay homage, respect to a bunch of fashion models who are inspirational and amazing. But I'm standing over here the webisodes, hello, your wife is here, hello. This should be a perk of being married to the videographer, photographer, is that my work should be getting done first, right?
So
I'm going to be posting on this GoPro Solo a link tree. And on there, it's going to have those accounts. If you are someone who has an account that is dedicated towards any niche that you think is memorable or, a long-standing attribute towards or respect for any of the arts, medias, fashion modeling, statement modeling, advertising, if you have any sort of page that's dedicated to those sorts of things, please DM me. I would love to feature it on GoPro Solo's page or some of your work. So those accounts are also going to be featured on GoPro Solo as well. And it's basically going to be, as it continues to develop, all of my favorite things, as I've been saying continuously and consistently: fitness, fashion, family, fun, along with, entertainment in one place. And that's why it's production or media, because it's so unrestricted in that regard. You guys know I use Coco Chanel YSL as my personal blog, and I've been using that performer name since I began creating art and selling art in the online sales industry in 2015 or 14. I do not produce any sexy content anymore for sale. I have not done that since 2018, but it's very important to me that I still feature my art from that time period. I'm not deleting it. I'm not embarrassed about it. I worked really hard on it, and so did a lot of other people. I had a lot of really great collaborators. So all of that can come together in one place without boundaries for what we accept with regards to niche. Obviously, there are boundaries with, respect and things of that nature, but having a production company and production space allows for all of the favorite pieces of me and of us and of our demographic and our audience to come together in one space. The politics of it, the controversy of it, the beauty of it, it's all tied together there with the GoPro Solo page. So again, if you guys have anything like that, please DM me and let me know. If you are local to Chicago and in any way interested in a collaboration for photo shoot concepts, or you need concept design, curation,
or if you're a model,
or any sort of creative direction or problem solving on anything from budget concerns, like, Heather, I only have $300 and I need 6 photo shoots with 10 models. Like, if you have these sorts of problems, that is my sector. So please, GoPro Solo is super involved and invested in helping other creators with or without budget concerns get to where they're trying to go. I personally don't think that anyone should have to kiss anyone else's ass or worse for a meal, right? So and we'll elaborate that on that at a later date, but basically, no matter what your budget is, I will find a way to be as helpful as possible with my experience. If you're a business or a brand, I'm doing free landing pages. Usually I charge $50 for a landing page. I'm doing them for free. And then if you want to expand after you see the landing page or the home page, there will be a price I can quote you directly depending on the specifics of your business, brand, or service. But I am available for hire, and also just if you want to ask any questions or collaborate, again, the DM is open. I can't take every single opportunity, but I can most definitely take some of them. Model Mayhem is where I have historically posted my modeling photos and kept my portfolio. Unfortunately, they have a limit of 50 photos, and I've been being locked out, on and off. So I need to still update my Model Mayhem. The only thing on my Model Mayhem that I think would be useful, if there are any models in the comments or creators, I have been getting, prior to meeting Xavier, numerous requests for flying me out of state, and I'm always down to fly out, jet set as fuck. I'm ready to go, as long as I have a round trip flight, right? Or so I thought. So I had this bad experience where I went, on the 4th of July, out of state. Someone flew me out, round trip ticket, everything was good, but I didn't force a deposit. That person canceled my flight home, and I was literally in the airport for a day. What am I gonna do with no money and no way home? So for any younger women or men who are entering this field, whether you yourself are doing music, photographing yourself, as the medium, photography, you're the photographer, videography, curation, or anything of the sorts, there is a rate structure on my Model Mayhem. Okay, so I will, after this live, I'll do a screen record and post that on there. There is a rate structure that I have created as a Google Doc. The link can be found there in the Model Mayhem page. If you are a young creator or collaborator in any capacity, I highly suggest, and I'm specifically talking to independent models and creators. You're not working under an ad agency. You don't have a manager. You're just doing it for yourself. You're kind of a freelancer in the realm. Click on that link, check it out. You can change your pricing accordingly, but it's super, super important that you have some sort of deposit that you collect in advance that cannot be argued, so that the person can't call, say for instance, you're using Chase and they quick pay you. They can't call Chase and say, oh my gosh, it was an accident, or my kid did it, reverse the money, and now you're stuck in another state on a gig. There have been so many negative and positive experiences that I've had locally as well as out of state in different modeling gigs and capacities, promo modeling, trade show modeling, all types of things. That is the number one lesson. Prepare yourself. Make sure that you have what you need to be okay. And a lot of people starting off in this industry have nothing, which is why it's so amazing, but also so predatory. You can go from having nothing to a lot very quickly. You can also be taken advantage of. So just if you're interested in that, if you need advice or, legal or professional jargon on how to set up, a charging system or a system of deposit, please feel free to check that out. It's Model Mayhem. You can find the link in my bio here on this GoPro Solo page. Also, I don't pay too much attention to the portfolio because I haven't updated the photos for probably a year. But I did update the rate structure just so that I had a safe place to keep it all together. Yesterday I went to the Field Museum and shot another photo in front of that same lion. I was telling you guys I did a photo shoot with Leslie Carroll in front of that lion, and I did it again. It's 4 years later. Right, that was the Art Institute. So we did that last night. It wasn't a planned photo shoot or one that I prepared for. I basically was already just wearing that outfit and had makeup on and was like, oh, let's shoot this photo. And I threw on a leather jacket and shot the photo. There's significance, for me, and these photo shoots and these content collaborations from myself to myself, using old content that I've created, new content that I've created, and content that I've chopped up and used for different purposes. As I collaborate with myself and put it all together, there, is a very real story that's easy to follow that's being told. And something as simple as looking at a 2019, my preparation, my hair, my outfits, the photography versus where we're at now. As I say, the beauty is in the contrast, and we do have a series called The Beauty is in the Contrast as well. So basically I just wanted to jump on and say what's going on. Everyone who's been waiting for the webisodes and the podcast to come back up, thank you for being consistent and, staying, following along with this whole saga with me. We are about 5 years in, 10 years since I developed the company, 5 years since I started receiving blowback and targeting and having my content be removed or altered or whatever the case may be. With regards to everything else that's going on, nothing has changed. It's just another day since meeting Xavier and being promised that all of the abuse was going to stop. And that we had an apartment waiting for us in the Gold Coast. We have been moved around to another 10 locations. For the last 4 months, we have been literally sleeping outside in a tent. We have zero budget at all, no budget at all, and I'm receiving very limited reach. So again, I'm pretty sure that they're running some sort of, I don't know what to call it, with my ex, who ultimately is responsible for most of the destruction I'm living in today. But like I said before, it's like I'll receive 6 months to a year of reprieve, of peace, of, being left alone and left to work on my projects. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, it picks back up again with the harassment and the targeting and the abuse. I really don't know, what else to do. I've gone to the DOJ. It's posted on the coco.chanel.ysl page. I've gone to the DA. I've gone to the state's attorney. No one is ever telling me you don't have a lawsuit or you haven't been wronged, nor are they saying that the state is not negligent. They're trying to turn people against me and say that I'm a public enemy because the state is negligent based on what happened to me. There is money owed. And they're trying to make it seem like me going after the money that's owed to me for being bludgeoned, having my home stolen, my car stolen, and being beaten and raped and left out in the street. They're trying to make it seem to people like I'm selfish for that, for wanting to be compensated for having to go through all of that. They're trying to they're making, actually now that the political structure is coming back for, a new voting period, they're organizing groups, almost against me, also for me, who are arguing that my payout will somehow take funding away from child programs and Park District folk programs and all this stuff. Well, I'm sorry, but I didn't bludgeon the Park District, and I didn't take the Park Districts home, and I didn't throw the Park District outside, and I didn't make the Park District sleep in a tent for 4 months, and I didn't separate the Park District from, its 3 children. Besides me and what I've suffered, I have 3 minor children who have been in my custody from their birth through November of 2019. So amongst all of this distress, I am continuing as much as possible to work as consistently as possible on GoPro Solo. I've had 20 other, little restaurant jobs or personal training jobs or just numerous jobs that I've been literally stalked out of in the first week or two. Since 2019, so that's 20, and I have them all written down with hiring managers, dates that I've worked, paycheck numbers, photos of the paychecks, everything in chronological order with dates and times and all of that. So that's all part of the novel that I'm working on. I'm at an impasse where I know what I need to be spending my time doing. There are factors in play that are not preventing me to do so. And I was walking down Lakeshore Drive this morning. Xavier was having a moment where he was calm 1 second and then freaking out the next, which is not like him at all. And I don't mean freaking out like having anxiety. I mean freaking out like jumping up and down, screaming at the top of his lungs, looking like a 5-year-old having a temper tantrum in the center of the bike path. And a man stopped and asked us what was going on. He said he was an undercover officer or an off-duty officer. And I said to him, I don't know what's going on. If you can help, that'd be great. I don't know how you can know. This is a man who consistently has been supportive to me, has been a rock to me, acting like a 5-year-old. And this is not the first time. This is probably the 5th or 6th time just in the last few weeks that he's been acting completely out of character. And again, this is the exact repeat. If you look at all the FTRs for the One Heather GEE account, the HLG Forever _ account, or the CocoChanel.ysl account, it's all the same repetitive shit that they've been doing since 2019. And I've been targeted with the same type of harassment. I believe it's an AI integration. Gary Vee has been talking a lot about AI integrations lately. Okay. And the way that they affect us, there is no other way to explain it. It's literally like there are 5 or 10 people in his body, all with their personalities, coming out in a way that's harmful and nefarious to me and to his and our relationship. I mean, how many times do you think you can treat someone's wife like they don't matter and call them every name in the book before they don't love their husband in the same way, And I'm just afraid that this is, again, another repeat of exactly what they did to me in 2019. I've been screaming out for help. I've been calling corruption. I've been saying I don't want a part of it. I've reported it all. I've gone to law enforcement. I've gone to the major medical system. There is no one who doesn't know. It's recorded all here on social media. What are we going to do to make it stop? When do I receive justice? When do I get to finish parenting and raising my children? My oldest child is going to graduate high school next year. You don't think she wants her mom there in the audience? My youngest daughter has a dance recital in a few weeks. You don't think she wants her mom there? You don't think my children, who have resided with me primarily their whole lives, want to come home? Of course they do. And with no explanation, how do I make my children understand that their mother, who has been literally completely disgraced by a reality show and their false, completely slanderous storyline, sexually assaulted, unlawfully thrown out of her home, had her car destroyed, bludgeoned, stabbed. How do I explain to my 3 minor children that all this has happened to me and that I've reported it all to law enforcement and that law enforcement nor the system has done anything to protect us? How do I explain that to 3 minor children? How do I make them understand what's going on? Because as their mother, I don't even understand it. And it's like I was talking about on the live yesterday, the coco.chanel.ysl live that I will also tag here. Children can't learn that way. Children watch and learn. And if children see their mother and other adults calling law enforcement for assistance after violent attacks and receiving no acknowledgement, no one even saying, Yes, we have a police report. We're working on it. What message is that teaching not only my children, but all of their friends and everyone else who's watching? You know, what is the message that's being taught there? And I brought this up yesterday, and I'd like to bring it up again. They're doing the same thing with a lot of anti-policing, very hateful against the authority social media posts in my newsfeed. And it always happens on the heels of me having an interaction with law enforcement where I'm asking for help and they're not able to do anything for me. You don't think that that in itself is incredibly predatory? How many minor children who aren't as emotionally in control or self-aware as I have been subjected to this type of coercion and exploitation and manipulation? Because that's what it is. You know, how many really nasty, hateful people are going to go on in the comments making these disgusting allegations and being bullies? How many? And for how many years can 6 reality show episodes haunt my life? I mean, is it not enough already? Like, this is enough. Enough has been enough. And, you know, the work I do on my social media, I've been consistent throughout all of this abuse. I've never missed a day of posting. I've never missed a day of research, of writing, of photography, of all of this. I have been doing this nonstop since all of this began, and even before then, you know? So I will continue to do that, but I just want everyone to be aware that while you're hurting me, an adult, and thinking, oh, fuck Heather, or whatever you're thinking, because I'm not going to put words in your mind. I don't know what you're thinking. I don't know how you justify in your mind as an adult being a bully to someone you don't even know on social media. I can't, like I said and always say, I don't speak that hater shit. I've never in my life done that to someone, nor would I ever. Okay, so going into someone's comments while they're on a live to tell them they're disgusting or make vomiting faces or anything, you know, like that, you need to really reevaluate your life. I mean, what matters to you and what doesn't? Why are you in my comments to begin with if you don't like me? What is your agenda, right? So usually people who just don't like someone are not going to sit in their chat room and talk shit to them. Anyone with any sort of self-respect is just going to be like, I don't like their message, and move on. So it's really important that you keep that in mind. If you're one of these people who's being a real, you know, piece of shit, for lack of a better word, ask yourself why. What are you getting out of it? What's missing out of your life that you have to come to my page and degrade and insult me? And for how much of your life can I expect you to be committed to being a terrible person? But that's kind of what's going on. We truly have received zero response or follow-up from any government entity, which again continues to lead me to believe that there has been some sort of government takeover. I don't know how it's possible that the government could have any sort of authority in place and this continue to be, you know, going on. You don't go to a courthouse on video, on camera, file 6 petitions, one every 6 months, and never get a court date, and there's nothing going on there. Like, there's clearly something going on there. You don't go in front of a judge with a video I've posted publicly here on Insta of the person who abused me saying, so what, I beat your ass, who cares? And asking for an EOP, which is short for emergency order of protection, and get denied. But then that person gets granted one and throws you, the single mother, into the street. But the person on parole using drugs and beating women gets to keep the apartment. It just doesn't make any sense. And I'm not going to let that go because that's another lawsuit. Let's think of it this way. I walked into a courtroom in front of a judge with a court reporter recording audio and typing. I played a video off of social media. That video showed my abuser's face, his parole contract, his IDOC record, and him ingesting a nitrous oxide balloon on the video saying proudly, so what, I beat your ass. I beat your ass because you humiliated me. He's on parole. The judge denied my EOP. Being ejected from my own home after my EOP was denied resulted in the rape that I was subjected to resulted in everything I'm still dealing with today. The bludgeoning, losing all of my clothing and all of my belongings, my car being destroyed. The court system has never been out in the cold on this. I've kept them very close and informed the entire time. So again, I say, what is going on? Are we okay? Systemically, do we have any sort of, law in place? And if so, how do you explain everything that I just said? How do you explain denying an EOP while the abuser's on federal and local parole? How do you explain that? How do you make that make sense? And as I said before, to this very day, I have not received a single word, update, nothing from anyone involved. Not a callback, not a court date, not a response. I file police reports, and I follow up on them, but every single time I followed up, law enforcement has said, and I quote, and this is the last time a Detective Rojas from Lombard Police 6 months ago told me, and I quote, yeah, the police report number for the rape, the sexual assault case is blah, blah, blah. No further investigation has been done since the report was made. That in itself is negligence. If you're allowing me, a civilian, to be sexually assaulted, held down and raped, among other various assaults that I reported to them, and I call you to follow up on it, and you tell me that you haven't done anything, and you're mean to me and hang up on me, is that not in itself enough proof that there's corruption surrounding this case? To escalate it? To get IA involved again? Because IA was already involved in 2015, right? So you look at all the people who know for a fact what went on, and I'm friends with a lot of them here on social media. Ali, George, and then you look, at the messages that they've sent me. George Lopez, he texted me, "You ain't dead yet?" ? Why would he think that, right? Why would he think that I have reason to fear for my life? And he asked me that before I was bludgeoned. Why would my attorney, Nick Albuquerque, tell me the state is corrupt in 2021? You need to flee the state. And I said, Nick, what are you talking about? I don't have the budget, nor do I have the resources to flee the state. 6 weeks after he told me that, I was bludgeoned by a man in the parking lot of the car wash, beaten senselessly. An ambulance had to come take me and put staples in the back of my head. Okay? So, how is it possible that I can get a ticket for speeding or a red light cam and the police can come put a boot on my car even though I'm enrolled in 3 payment plans, one with a private attorney, one with a collection agency on behalf of the city, and one with the city of Chicago, and they still put a boot on my car? Yet I can't get a response to the rape police report that I filed, to the bludgeoning police report that I filed. So you'll chase me down for a $50 ticket when I'm already actively paying you people, boot my car, but when I'm held down and someone enters my body with their penis, there's no follow-up. How is that not a lawsuit or multiple lawsuits? And after I received no assistance from Cook County on that matter, I brought it to DuPage. And then I brought it to Lake. So basically, I didn't bring it, it followed me. I was in a gated community, staying with a friend who I met at Dunkin' Donuts when I was preparing to go to a domestic abuse lawyer meeting at the Dunkin' Donuts in Oak Park. And I was approached by a gentleman who said, you appear to be extremely organized, and I think I've seen you on social media. He knew what I was going through. I was reporting everything live. He said, I have a job for you. He gave me multiple cleaning jobs, allowed me to borrow his Jeep while Dylan still had my Cadillac stuck in the garage, and paid me $200 to $400 for cleaning these large houses in Barrington. The houses were located in gated communities. I had never been there before. I parked my car in the garage of one of those homes. How is it possible that someone broke into the garage of a gated community of Barrington and keyed my vehicle? I also filed a police report on that with Barrington and Lake County. So all I'm saying is there is no short supply of paper trail from all medical, every major medical provider and hospital and system in the Illinois state, from every police jurisdiction, and from every court jurisdiction, from Cook County in Arlington Heights to DuPage County in Wheaton to 555 West Harrison and the Daily Center. I have gone to every single facility multiple times with witnesses and on camera and still not received a single response as to, number one, how the state could be so negligent as to allow me to be beaten, bludgeoned, stabbed. Number two, how the state could be so negligent as to ignore my order, custody order for primary joint custody of my 3 minor children and not enforce it. And they're not holding law enforcement to enforcing it either. And how the state could be so negligent as to grant someone on parole with drugs and guns in the house. Google it online. Dylan Smith arrest. Less than a month or two after I went to the court seeking an EOP, the man was arrested for guns and drugs. It's all public knowledge, all the cases. How can you say there's no negligence there? There is most definitely negligence there, and I am owed handsomely. Having that money so that I can move back into a home and drive my car and take my children to school and do all the luxurious things that moms do, like laundry and cooking dinner and attending graduations, is all I've ever been asking for. Why is it so difficult to receive the restitution and reciprocation that I deserve? If I tire iron bludgeoned someone to the point where they were hospitalized, do you think that I'd be walking around free? Probably not, right? If I jumped and stabbed someone 11 times with a screwdriver, do you think that I'd be walking around free? Probably not. Yet all of those things and more have happened to me with video evidence, and I have not received reciprocation or restitution for any of them. Almost 4 full years later.
Someone
Pardon?
just offered to buy that.
For how much?
Jolly, 40. Fuck that.
So, that's kind of where we're at. If you're wondering, and a lot of people are, a lot of haters, instead of asking, hey, Heather, is everything okay? I know you wanted to release the webisode, 3 months ago. What's going on? Instead of asking like that, a lot of people have been like, see, Heather hasn't been working and she's not serious and, where's the action, blah, blah, blah. Well, amidst being chased, harassed, followed, stabbed, bludgeoned, beaten, separated from my children, having to spend 15 hours walking to my children's houses just to see them for 10 or 20 minutes, I've been creating, I've been curating, I've been working nonstop. So that's the reason why I needed to bring that up. And not because I owe anyone an explanation, but because I owe myself a defense. A defense against all of your slanderous, nasty hatred and just hateful commentary. No one else is going to stand up for you people. So while it's important to ignore certain things, it's also important to make sure that you don't rest on your laurels and that you make sure people know who the fuck you are. Because in the absence of your own opinion and your own articulation of the circumstances, people will take other people's word for it. And there are people who want you to fail, who want me to fail, as you can clearly see, who will portray a different story than the actual reality, who will, cause and curate circumstances in real life that depict a story that isn't the truth, but that makes it appear to be truthful. And I kind of learned that the really hard way. So the targeting began again about 2 weeks ago. We went to go see the big kids and my youngest. They're in 2 different places. The 2 big kids in the suburbs, the baby on the northwest side of Chicago. She's 9, I call her baby. And out of the whole 10 days we were out there, not because I didn't want to and not because her father didn't want me to, some mystery phantom, gets in the way of me being there with my children. And I'm there every day physically waiting and calling and they're just not allowing for it. So nothing has changed in that regard. It's like I tell all the other oppressors, I will never stop looking for my children. I will never stop working on my brand. And I will never stop hitting the block button when people continue to harass and bully. I just want to end with, again, the DM is open. If you guys are looking for any sort of assistance or creative direction, please send me a DM. I am more than willing to discuss it and discuss strategy. I'm doing free landing pages. If you sell any product or service, I will design a landing page for you for free for the rest of the month. And then they're $50 after that per landing page, per product. So that's, open as well. And then lastly, click on that Model Mayhem. If you have any issues creating a rate structure for yourself and you're, looking for assistance there's free game posted there. I typed that up myself. And like I said, it would be real easy for you to change the dollar amounts or, whatever you want to change. But remember to protect yourselves, guys, because shit's weird. And, I really don't know what else to say about it. Like, the world is changing so fast. Make sure you're protected. And then the last thing is, please keep your eyes and ears open for my podcast to come back. I will be reposting all of the episodes as soon as possible. So that is 100% going to be happening. And I will let you guys know what platform we decide to use as soon as I figure it out. I'd love to stick with SoundCloud. I love the functionality, super user friendly. And it was just very easy to use and operate from my phone, because as you guys know, 3 laptops have been stolen from me in this 4 years. So I'm doing everything via my iPhone, and I'm very grateful to have it, but I'm hoping for that. So I will keep you guys posted there. Other than that, happy Memorial Day. I hope everyone has a great weekend. I'm going to do another photo shoot, hopefully, that I've been working on for about a month. Conceptually speaking, and that's it. I hope you guys have a great weekend. I will be posting the photo shoot later, and like I said, the DM is open if you guys have any questions or want to collaborate.
Canada sent invite.